Fairbanks, how about a round of applause? Newly elected, second term of the Better Nation. Big Rich, thanks for that. Driving up here and thinking about this day today, and even asking Rob for a say amount here. When I speak, I like to have some in my hand. It helps me. I know there's a lot of, I know that's anxiety for us. Especially this morning when I woke up and, when I first turned the TV on and looked at my phones and, seeing that they selected Governor Walz as the vice president running me. So it even made my anxiety even higher, but I'll get started here now. Miigwech. Ani buju, ani shinabek, memish kawigabo ndishnikas, migizin du dame, gawabaga kenakagin du jaba. Miigwech, everyone. It's been a good 5 years being your chairman. And looking back and at my first inauguration back in 19, because we didn't have one in 2020 because of COVID, and that brings back a lot of memories of our nation and how we prepared and how we got over that hump, that really dark time for not only us as a tribal nation, but Turtle Island and Mama Key, and so it's something that I think about, and thinking about all the memories that I have for the last 5 years, and thinking about my grand entry back then and today's grand entry, and thinking about the songs, the singers, miigwech to them, miigwech to Rob for that beautiful prayer he did for all of us. I think about our council here that's sitting beside me here, and I think about our elders out there that, I'm standing up here again, and it's something that I'm really happy, and, things that I talked about on my campaign, of accomplishing things, finishing things. These are things that were handed me to by the other council members. I remember my mentor, Kathy was like the one that was closest to me. She's always supported me. I think about those times when we flew out to DC and went around the country and lobbied and worked hard for our nation. Thinking about the batons that was given to me to hand and move forward with our nation. The cannabis, our health care, the jobs, even the land back, which I will continue to carry that baton. And these are the initiatives that I take, our council takes, that we're gonna keep moving forward. I know the meetings that we have between, when we started the conversations, the meetings that we have with our lobbyists, the meetings we have with our strategists, that everything that we do, I talk to my council, and I think it's important, and that communication is always a plus with us up here, and Laura Lee coming on now, at my side now. So it's something that I'm really excited about for the next 4 years of working with Laura Lee, because I worked with her for as long as I worked at the RBC. I know Laura Lee's always had, that leadership in her and that ability to be an Ogima Kwe. So this is what I'm excited about. I'm excited about our cannabis division, that we started together. I didn't start it. I just carried the baton. But we have over 50 jobs over there. We're growing. We're feeding other nations our medicine. That was one of the things that we talked about is, there's the name of our cannabis company, Wabigwan Meshkiki. Wabigwan is flower, Meshkiki is medicine. You know, this is something that we talked about. Not this council, other councils we talked about how that medicine can help all of us and our people, and all the people across Turtle Island that's been helping people. And we took the initiative to move forward and take the steps to invest into our company, our cannabis company. So I'm really, really proud of that. You know, the accomplishments that we're moving forward, and we're in full expansion mode. You know, and we talk about the timelines that we're on. You know, when I campaigned out there this last year, I was out talking to most of you out there. I tried to knock on everyone's door. I still believe in that way of campaigning, that grassroots style of getting out there and talking to you face to face. You know, I've always been a person to take constructive criticism. You know, so if you yelled at me or said something to me, you know, I've never took it to heart, you know. I know there's things out there that are dear to all of us out there, especially our children, you know, our youth, our elders. You know, our youth is especially, you know, talking to Rob and Rob becoming our cultural coordinator and talking about immersion. You know, one of the things why I look up to him and ask him to help me, because he was one of my grandkids' teachers at Nagani in Bug School. Taught them the ways, taught them the Ojibwe language, Mowin. It's important that we keep our culture, our language strong with our people. It's important. You know, I do as best I can out there with my language, our language. You know, I learn new words, say my prayers. You know, I remember last week when I was sitting out in Detroit. I was in the city of Detroit at a Chinoa hotel with all the lieutenant governors across the country were there. And Peggy Flanagan, head of the Democratic Lieutenant Governors Association, invited me there. And she handed me tobacco to talk to the group, and you know, I was kind of like, huh? You know, so it was kind of like, okay, well, you know, and I stopped and I thought about it, and I was like, this is what it's about. You know, the 5 years I've been here as chairman is accepting this the same from all of you. So you believe in me and our path that we take, you know, and steering the ship, our ship as tribal council, of trying to navigate and move things around and how to be strategic about things. You know, I know this past year, and I thought about the land back. You know, we have two initiatives going side by side. First, I'll talk about the state forest. You know, we went down there last year and we stirred up a hornet's nest. You know, and we had a lot of, you know, how do you say it, publicity on it. You know, from White Earth Nation trying to get back our 155,000 acres. The council here, we've dug our feet in. We went down to St. Paul. I was in St. Paul every week last winter talking to legislators. We got our way into the Senate. We had our hearing. Even though it didn't pass, but it didn't fail. That was the big step that we took there. Was everyone was shocked because they were saying that it wasn't gonna go. And our Democratic senators stood strong, and at least they tabled it so it wouldn't fail. And I felt very, very honored by Chairman Herr, Senator of St. Paul, that supported us on this. So Chairman Herr, I give kudos to him for helping us on this. And in the House, we had to go down to the house and get an appointment for a hearing, and that was what took so long for us. We fizzled out there. Our chairman wouldn't give us a date. You know, he kept putting us off till the end of the session. Then that's where it ended, right there at the end of the session. You know, so our bill didn't really fail. It's just going to continue this next year. We're going to go back down there again. I'm going to be down there every week, lobbying for our land back. So these are things that I really telling you about. And the other land back is Tamarack National Refuge. You know, we continue those talks with that agency, that federal agency. You know, we had our first initiative with the MOA agreement with them. That's the first step to get into co-stewardship, and then we 638 it. Those are things that are coming here real soon. So those will be announcements that we'll be making here hopefully within the next 6 months to a year, that we'll have, you know, when we get that AFA, which is the annual funding agreement from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Agency out of the Department of Interior. That'll be when we run Tamarack, our tribal nation, our DNR will run. So there's some good things coming, some very positive things coming for Better Nation, that we as a council took these initiatives and began these paths that we're taking today. And I'm so glad so honored to be up here and talking to you, and I know I don't be too long-winded with you. Everyone's hungry, so I can hear everyone's stomach growling. So, but I just want to say, I'm here for you. My door is always open. You call me, I call you back. It's important that I have that relationship with my constituents and my band members. And to think back to you, I ask you to be a part of us, to be a part of our tribal government, be a part of listening to our delegations. When me and Michael here, our Secretary-Treasurer, we sit on the TEC. There's constitution reform going on right now. And our nation, we're the only nation here that has 10 delegates on there that represent us. And our tribal, elders, miigwech to them for following us, coming to our TEC meetings, supporting your leaders, your ogamas, and our delegations on the decisions that we have to make. But I want to hear from all of you. I can't make that decision. Every time I go in those meetings, they ask me if I'm a yes or no. I say no. I have to hear from my people before I make a decision. That's in my book, that I know that every voice in this room counts. I want you to have the information to make those decisions. So please reach out to our delegations. There's a couple things coming up here in the near future with our Constitution. You know, one of the things that I wanted to bring up was Article 2, which is membership. Right now we have our attorney, our general counsel for the Minnesota Chippewa tribe, looking at the definition of Minnesota Chippewa. What is the Minnesota Chippewa? We look at the Minnesota Chippewa tribe. We look at the band of Red Lake Chippewa Indians. These are the things that we're looking at, is how do we integrate more of our people, Anishinaabe, into our bloodlines. This is important, and it's up to you to make these calls. I'm really hoping that we can move forward with some initiative. There's 3215 out there that's been sitting out there since 2015. That's the other one that we have to put out there. We've been lobbying about. I want to put that out there for referendum, kind of the same thing, but that resolution states that accepts all Ojibwe blood in the United States to come into our blood quantum as a Minnesota Chippewa tribe. So we have a few things that's going on with our TEC, but I guess I will have to end it here. But I want to say miigwech to everyone for coming today, and I don't want to be too long here. So I want to say miigwech and thank you for all your support. I couldn't have done it without you. You know, and that's why I'm standing up here again for another 4 years, representing our people, representing culture, representing our children, representing our elders, and representing you. Miigwech, miu.